Action!
Do you really want to change the world?
This is 3 gigs of text. One checkers to make the domains.
Send those to Belmont, I'll have a blast with this, sir.
Cut. Good. Great. Thanks.
One of the really interesting challenges of this movie, both in prep and in production and in editing, was how dense it is with non-traditional communication. Just the idea of all that texting and all of that stuff that happens on a computer screen, you know. So we didn't sort of have one approach that applied across the entire movie, but the first episode where it happens is in the Tockless, when Julian invites him into this secret world.
There's a new leak on the submission platform.
So we're having some fun with those bits of the film in terms of trying to sort of stop it just being something where you're literally looking over the shoulder of someone typing information in. So a lot of the time we've been playing with a lot of projection whilst they're typing, projecting the words back onto their faces, onto their bodies, or the background behind them. Just trying to sort of lift it so that we don't end up getting stuck into a non-cinematic world, which is just all about geeks and screens.
And we decided early on that instead of it being some kind of post effect, that we'd do something practically, that there was something about, you know, being invited in and getting lost in it that would really be enhanced by having it sort of come to life right there. So we worked out these projections that actually sort of came from the screen and ran across their faces and ran across the walls.
When we first got started on this, it was like, how can we make text on a screen a little bit more interesting? And also that particular scene at the Tackless was about Daniel and Julian meeting for the first time and obviously using the same kind of tools to communicate. It's almost like it's Julian and Daniel's thought process. It's like, you know, it's kind of like speech bubbles in a comic, essentially, which I think was quite eloquent for that particular scene.
Take any message. Are you safe? Are you safe?
We work with Andrew and the guys at Blind in London to create all that content that exists on the screens. It seemed like we'd be cheating if we just shot a lot of green screens and put it in later. But it was so valuable for the actors, you know. They had a couple of days of training to make their way, you know, into this hacker world and kind of have some rudimentary understanding of what was going on.
From my background, is we've always tried to do everything for real. A, it gives the actors something to react to, and also it's there, it's done, it's bagged. It does require thought, and I think on this movie it required a lot of thought in terms of piecing together the graphics that bridge certain scenes. Yes, we could have just put up green, but I think there was a real effort to get as much as we possibly could in camera. I think that's good from a storytelling perspective, and it gives a focus to the action. And I think that's one of the fundamental differences between the computer screens in this film and, say, a more science fiction-based thing. They have to help and aid and tell the story. So they're kind of script-specific graphics. They're not just there turning over in the background looking pretty. And I think that's a challenge.